Welcome back, another episode of Life with Your Dog. My name's Panos, and today we're going to be talking about accepting things the way that they are. Another slight angle of what dogs have taught me. Since I am, if you're an avid listener, you know that one thing that I'm really into is, of course, how much I teach dogs to live in our society, but how are dogs teaching us to live in the now and give us experience that we can learn in life as well. Apologies for this episode coming out a little bit late. I was away with the family for about a week, which was very, very nice. And I was actually planning to record, took all the equipment out there with me, but it started raining on the days that I wanted to record and it wasn't going to work out. It was too noisy. So here we are now. I'm back at home. And I guess what sparked the topic for this week was a couple of things were happening, and I observed myself and how I was, dealing with what was happening. Nothing bad. Maybe some things that were, less than ideal, but life is life. And, we are, with every increasing consciousness, the more that we learn in life, we can't be more sensitive to pleasure without being more sensitive to pain. And I really do believe that if you want to feel really elated in life and to experience all the fruits of your labor and everything that happens in your life, then you're becoming more aware, which means you're going to be more aware of the things that aren't so pleasurable, and maybe some suffering can occur through that. So one thing that didn't provoke too much suffering, but it's something that is really important, and I wanted to open it up with something very dog related, is Chili, my dog, about 4.5 months now that I've had him. In that time, I haven't even taken him to the vet because he just did a vet checkup before he did come up to me. But he does need to have a procedure done. He has an undescended testicle, and for young dogs that can be very bad, so we are going to remove that one. But going into there, because again, I haven't taken him many places. I've done lots of desensitization, getting him used to lots of things in our world, but going into a vet clinic, number one, so ironic that we have to talk about this, and taking on my own advice of talking, about maybe 3 or 4 episodes ago, we talked about being scared of the vet, what should we do, etc. So he was cool going in there. There was no problem. But, Benny, my vet, wearing his mask, and had to obviously touch the back of touch his rear end, and he certainly didn't like it. He was flighty. He just was very uncomfortable and looked very concerned. And as a dog trainer, you don't really, it does trigger the ego in a way. And not because I think I should have a certain type of dog or a certain behavior from my dog, but am I thinking, what is Benny? What is my vet thinking about? Now, I'm not saying that I fully came and thought from there, but it did enter my mind that moment, like, I want my dog to be sound like my other dogs, right? But in saying that as well, I had a quick little assessment while I was holding him, while he was getting his rear end checked. And I was thinking, that's cool. I'll go listen. And me and Benny basically said this at the same time. But I said, look, when there's no rush for him to remove that undescended testicle. Like, we can still wait 6 months, which means in that time, I'm going to do a lot more of going to the vet, making positive experience, do lots of training in there. Everything that I mentioned in that video, of course, I'm going to do. And it just means that I've got to do it. Now, it was the day before we left that I went to the vet, and I only got back yesterday afternoon, so I haven't had time to go to the vet, but I do need to go there and pick up some medication for spades. So I'm going to go there, and we're going to do a training session. So basically, I need to accept things for what they are, and again, anyone who's listening to this, take this advice on or learn from this experience, because I think it's very important that something will happen. It will kick you in the groin and make you feel bad, but it's not about how hard you fall. It's about how you get up. Are you going to move forward? All right, cool. My dog doesn't like the vet. That's cool. He didn't like the people sweeping in the vet. I'm like, oh, that's weird. So it doesn't matter what it is, how you perceive it to be. It is what it is. You perceive it to be something that you don't find desirable. Some people may go, hey, I don't care if my dog doesn't like the vet. We don't go there very often. Usually have a vet coming to my house, etc., etc. That's all well and good. But with my dog, I want him to be cool with it. Now, also, I haven't done much desensitization to touching him around the back legs, around, the groin area and around the tail. I know he didn't like it, but I was focusing on other things. And maybe in hindsight, I should have practiced more of that, get him used to that sort of handling. And in the last week, I have been doing a lot more of that. And being away, we were out down the south coast, beautiful part of the world. We're in Currawong, Jarvis Bay area. If you guys are in New South Wales, go check that out. Lots of beautiful beaches there. Dogs are allowed there, and he got salty water on him every single day, and I had to rinse him off. So there was opportunities for me to be doing that and making it worth it for him to do it. So of course, doing lots of desensitization through rewarding him every single time I was touching him around the backside there, and I have the ball, I'd make him do things, I'd mark and reward, and just in 4 or 5 days of doing that, we're already starting to see an improvement, which means it's cool if he lets me do it. Now I need to let others do it. So there's going to be a process to that. But again, I'm not going to talk about what to do as a systematic step-by-step of what that means. Maybe we can reserve that for another episode. It's more about, you see for what it is, write it down. And I did. As soon as I got in the car, I wrote down a post-it note in my car. I'm like, hey, you're doing more desensitization to the vet for Chili. And boom, I put it onto my dashboard. Not that I have heaps of post-it notes there, but I have that one there because I wanted to write it down, because they say writing crystallizes thought. It's a thought, but you forget to go to the vet. If I don't have to go there for another 6 months and then I take him there, then we're still in the same place we were. But if you can see the vet 25, 35, 50 times and for, a lot of his food and a lot of interaction and making it just another place to be, I know that he's going to come good with it. But you've got to see for what it is and not shy away from it. And I guess that's what happens. Bad things happen, undesirable things happen in our life, and we try not to work on it. Hey, I'll tell you how it is. For like 7 months, I wasn't able to go to martial arts training, and I went to an MMA class just to learn some technique and get back into it. After 7 months, I realized how unfit I had become, how a lot of old habits came back, which was really interesting. Didn't want to get punched in the head. Well, then who the hell wants to get punched in the head? But I was a lot more flighty from it, and I was really gassed out. And the last guy that I sparred with really just he mopped the floor with me, and he really took. And look, he was really good. Obviously, I'm not expecting to be anything that I'm not, but I thought would have performed better under those circumstances. And it shows that lack of training, lack of exposure means that you're going to lose some of those skills. And I was truly bummed out. I left there going, nah. And those I find are my best training sessions, because they're the ones that I can't wait to go back to training, because I got my ass served to me, not because I felt good. And I think that's really important. I think there's a lot of dog training concepts in that, is that the frustration and that intermittent reward, because there was a couple guys there that was my size and maybe, less experience or skill set than me, and I was able to submit them. And that didn't make me feel as good as it did if I was to roll with somebody and spar with them and then be successful there. But because I wasn't, I'm hungry for more. I can't wait to go back tomorrow, to go back to training. And of course, from here on out, now my injuries have gone. I can't wait to ramp that back up. But it's the weakness. I don't know how to kickbox, and the guy was kickboxing. So I've got to work on my strikes. I've got to work on my kicks, and I've got to work on all these things, because I have to accept it for what it is. I got tapped out. He rolled me around. He did some weird thing and really could have badly injured me. Lucky I know how to roll out of it, and I was tapping out. So my point there is that it humiliates you, but you got to be humble to it, because don't think you are more than what you are. And that's not just for dog training and for martial arts, but that's for everything. I think it's always good to be asking the questions, always good to detach from a situation, step back and look at it. And which then kind of leads me into the next thing, was that, I took 2 weeks off, and it was really hard for me because I was burning out. I was burning to a crisp. I knew what was happening. I was on the way to getting sick again, and I find that when